Coronavirus has reached the UK. 2 patients from this same family in England tested positive on Friday. They are the first such cases in Britain. To stem the spread of the virus, major airlines including British Airways, United Airlines and Virgin Atlantic have suspended flights to China. And many countries have chartered planes to evacuate their citizens from the infected city of Wuhan, ground zero of the global emergency. It includes a plane carrying 83 British and 27 foreign nationals, which landed at a British airbase. Those aboard face 14 days of quarantine. According to the BBC, there were originally meant to be 150 Britons on the flight from Wuhan. But some UK citizens didn't make it on board after being told family members with Chinese passports would be rejected. Even though that decision was reversed hours before the plane was due to depart, for some it was too late to get to the airport in time.
The sick just keep on coming. There's no letting at the epicentre of this outbreak. Every corner's crammed with patients, and it's moved at a frightening pace in just a matter of weeks. The virus, which originated in Wuhan, has spread to every region of China. The infections have now utterly eclipsed the number of SARS cases during a year-long outbreak. And it's still...
Well, China's coronavirus continues to spread. Authorities are saying the outbreak could peak in 10 days. There have now been 132 deaths, close to 6,000 cases, and 16 countries outside China have confirmed cases. As you can see from this graph, the number of cases has spiked over the past week, and the city of Wuhan continues to be at the centre of the outbreak. The authorities are telling residents not to travel anywhere. And this is the situation in which some of those residents are living. Completely deserted streets, as you can see, because people are not only being told not to leave the city, they're being told not to leave their homes. Also,
the number of confirmed coronavirus cases across the world quickly rises. People are struggling to prevent the spread of the deadly respiratory disease. And we're going to shed light on the typical symptoms and ways to avoid contracting the disease.
With 4 cases of the Wuhan coronavirus confirmed in Korea, many are worried about the possibility of being infected. In order to calm those concerns, it is helpful to know which symptoms are a sign that you should see a doctor and what can be done.
Uri ng coronavirus, malayang alam natin ang mga sintomas ng nakakahawak na yan. At isa lahat kung paano ito may iwasan. Alamin po yan sa report na ito.
Ang coronavirus ay pamilya ng mga virus na nagdudulot ng iba't ibang klase ng sakit, mula sa karaniwang ubod-sipon hanggang sa mas malulubhang infeksyon. Dagdag pa ng Department of Health, sa mga malulubhang kaso, maaari ito maging sanhi ng pneumonia, acute respiratory syndrome, problema sa bato at pwede ring mauwi sa pagkamatay. Ano-ano nga ba ang mga sintomas ng coronavirus? Pangunahin na riyan ang ubo at sipon, lagnat, hirap sa maghinga, at iba pang respiratory symptoms. Matatanda ang kumalat noon ang iba pang uri ng coronavirus tulad ng Middle East Respiratory Syndrome o MERS-CoV na unang naitala sa Middle East noong 2012. Gayon din ang Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome o SARS na naunang naitala naman sa Guangdong, China noong 2002. Halos 2,000 tao ang tinamaan ng MERS-CoV habang 8,000 naman ang naapektuhan ng SARS. Para makaiwas sa coronavirus, narito ang dapat tandaan. Una, laging maghugas ng kamay. Lumayo at takpan ang bibig at ilong tuwing umubo o babahing. Umiwas sa mga taong may ubo at sipon. Uminom ng maraming tubig at siguraduhin maayos ang pagkaluto sa mga pagkain. Iwasan kontak sa mga hayop at agad konsulta sa doktor kung makakaranas sa mga nabanggit na sintomas ng coronavirus, lalo na kung bumiyahe mula Wuhan, China.
As the coronavirus continues to spread across China, other nations around the world are starting to increase their precautions. Just a short while ago, British Airways said it was suspending all flights to and from mainland China. That comes after the British government advised against all but essential travel to China. And Indonesia's Lion Air has also just said it's suspending its flights. Other airlines, including United Airlines, Air Canada and Cathay Pacific Airways, have cancelled some flights to China, although in some cases it is because of a lack of demand. Here's travel journalist Simon Porter.
So I'm talking about the coronavirus. We bring you an update on where things stand right now. The death toll climbing once again overnight. China now saying that 132 people have died from the virus. The number of confirmed cases in mainland China are up 25% to over 6,000. Companies taking additional precautions in response to the growing threat. Here's what's happening. Starbucks announcing it will close half of its stores in China to help stem the spread. That's half of its stores.
Well, the government is facing increasing criticism over this evacuation plan, and Home Affairs Minister Peter Dutton joins us now. Mr. Dutton, thank you so much for your time. We've just heard there from Dr. Tony Bartoni, from the Australian Medical Organisation, saying that they've not been consulted on this and that we need to find a more humane solution. What's your response?
Good morning, guys. Well, look, Tony's a very decent guy and a great doctor, and obviously the AMA's had a long-standing position opposing Christmas Island, so I think that's an issue really that's in the past, and the fact is that we need to find a facility that can accommodate in the order of 500-600 people.
An ambitious plan has been launched tonight to evacuate Australians stranded in Wuhan by the coronavirus outbreak and place them in an island quarantine. More than 132 people are now dead in China. A new case has been confirmed in Victoria, and 16 more are being investigated here in New South Wales.
The coronavirus has spread to countries across the world, but officials believe that it all started in Wuhan, China. It's believed that the virus may have originated from a market in the city where people can buy an assortment of wild game meat. And an article in the New York Times puts a spotlight on that market and others like it in China. Stephen Lee Myers wrote that article, and he is the Beijing bureau chief for the New York Times, and he joins me now via Skype. So
the world freaks out over a deadly Chinese virus. How far will it spread? This is China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. An outbreak of a deadly coronavirus from the Chinese city of Wuhan is spreading. It's now surpassed the number of people affected by SARS in 2003. SARS was another deadly disease that the Chinese Communist Party tried to cover up, which only made it worse. It was a bad idea that time. It's a bad idea now. The initial cover-up of this new coronavirus has made the spread worse, and the coronavirus has now spread to every region of China. The rest of the world is freaking out, despite the fact that there are still fewer than 100 cases outside China. World Health Organization officials have now declared it a global health emergency. The rest of the world is responding to the coronavirus in different ways. Foreign companies operating in China are shutting down. For example, Starbucks has closed 2,000 stores in China. So hey, there you go. There's your silver lining. At least
the love and support that's most needed in China right now. The news popping up on their phones is mostly too worrying. So the scenes in some cities and the virus's epicenter Wuhan, checkpoints are everywhere. With the lockdown in place, streets have completely emptied out.
When we face a new type of virus, of which a lot is still unknown, a lot of people may feel anxious. Psychologists have been deployed in hospitals to treat patients, and experts are there to instruct people on how to protect themselves.
Beijing says it has the situation under control. Images released by the state media show that supermarkets have sufficient supplies and prices are stable. But some dismiss those images as propaganda. This student from Thailand in Wuhan has had a different experience.
It's very difficult to find stuff like if you want to buy it right now because there's a shortage. Everyone wants to stock up, but it's already too late, you know. It's very tiring to go out wearing so many dresses and washing it. One layer of shirt, one jacket, and one overall jacket. So that's like 3 layers. I wear a mask, and I wear a cap and 2 gloves.
Small